Hello and welcome to Connected. On this edition, we discover how to get the most out of the newly introduced NDIS scheme for people with a disability. The Royal Brisbane Women's Hospital Foundation assists our doctors and nurses in many ways. Now they need your help, and we'll tell you how. More than 50 years ago, Aussie kids had a TV hero called Shintaro. We sent Hinksy out into the world of the samurai with two of the show's biggest fans. And musically, Mack takes us on an original journey. It's time to get it to local and keep connected. Welcome to the show. Well, Peter Tully is well known as a support advocate for fellow disabled people throughout Queensland. In their work, Peter and his wife Linda are supported by Able Australia and the Queenslanders with Disability Network, or QDN. Well, recently Peter was appointed as a development officer by Able Australia to support and advise people on how to make the most out of the NDIS and achieve their future goals. And both of them join us on the program. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It is wonderful to talk to you, Peter, and congratulations on the enormous body of work you've undertaken already.
Thank you very much, and it's been a great pleasure to make a difference in the Ipswich and South East Queensland community.
Yeah, it's very important. Of course, Ipswich is going to be one of the first areas that is going to see the rollout of the NDIS, isn't it?
Correct. So the NDIS in Ipswich will start in July 2017. And I encourage all the people watching the show to go to the ndis.gov.au website and look for the area that they're in as to when it would start in their area. But the last rollout is July 2019.
Which is going to be around the Brisbane area, I think.
Correct.
You said.
Yep.
Now, how does the new NDIS affect people, and how can you help them as well?
Okay. So the way I like to explain it, for current people with disabilities who are in the current system, it's been all about funding. The new system around the NDIS is all about them, the participants themselves. In other words, where their life is at now and what they would like to do with their life in the future. So the current system is based around available funding. Mm-hmm. The new system is based around them planning towards their future.
Oh, and isn't that great, Linda? I mean, especially for people like yourself who are carers, that is great news to see that future development planning as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But when you look at this, I mean, your role now as the advocate for this, what are you going to be undertaking to try and help people breach into this NDIS scheme?
So, just so your listeners understand, Linda and me started our own independent organisation as a volunteer role way back in 2007 called Disability Community Awareness, and that's where we built our foundation from. However, over those years, we've been fortunate enough for myself to pick up some paid work to support what we do in a voluntary capacity with Able Australia, which is one of the things we're going to talk about today, and as you've already mentioned, QDN.
Yes.
So, to answer the question about what will my role be, it depends which of those three hats that I have on. If I'm working with family one-on-one, talking about the NDIS and what their life might look like in the future, well, then that is an independent role under Disability Community Awareness.
Right.
A lot of your listeners over the last 3 years would have had the opportunity through the Department of Community Funding to attend what's called a Ready to Go workshop.
Right.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be asked by QDN to be one of the original designers of that program. And the Ready to Go program is all about the participants engaging, ready for their planning process. So that's my role within QDN.
Yep.
My role within Able Australia is to encourage the existing service providers, local communities, councils, businesses to all engage and collaborate together to prepare ready for the NDIS and look for opportunities around Queensland for Able Australia to expand their disability services.
Yeah. Now, spreading the word, of course, is a very important thing. I know even here at Phoenix Media, you've done a lot of that with the Invincibility radio show as well.
Correct.
They love having you on the show.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, we actually caught some of them on our cameras the other day, which is some of the vision that you see behind us here.
Okay.
And they have a ball spreading the word and the messages that are important to people who are disabled in our community, don't they?
Correct. And that radio show on a Friday is a very important program because it gives the opportunity to promote the disability events around Ipswich that are going on in the future.
Yes, yeah. Where do you see your future now? Do you see it expanding and expanding and expanding?
Well, Linda and my long-term goal is to eventually work in the disability sector full-time.
Great.
At the moment, you may be aware that I have an IT business on the side, and that's what supports what Linda and me are passionate about. Only this year, when Able Australia announced the media release there,
Yep.
we were fortunate enough to be able to allow Linda to give up her courier business, where she used to deliver flowers around Ipswich, and now she supports me in our vision together, engaging in the community.
Well, you guys do a fantastic job. We are running out of time, so look, I really appreciate you coming in today and talking to us.
Thank you very much for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much. And for more information on the work Peter undertakes, you can also visit ableaustralia.org.au. Still to come, we have music from Rachel Mack, Hinksy is turning Japanese, and how you can help the Royal Women's Hospital Foundation. That's next on Connected. And welcome back to Connected. Well, the Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital Foundation was first established in 1985 as the charity arm of one of the largest hospitals in the country. Now, while it is part of Queensland Health, funding from the government is limited and doesn't fulfil areas that will ensure the Royal remains at the forefront of patient care. The Foundation's role is to fill that funding gap. And to tell us more, we are joined by Karen Gallagher and Ben Zabel. How are you, folks?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Damien. How are you?
Wonderful to see you both. Karen, it's amazing work you guys do, and I guess over the course of the years you tend to raise lots of money for the Foundation.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's such a big hospital. It requires a lot of additional funding. I think what most people don't get about the hospital is the amount of research that's taken place there. And without that research, we don't advance healthcare. You know, it's without medical research over the years, we wouldn't have antibiotics, we wouldn't have radiation therapy, we wouldn't have chemotherapy. We'd still have diseases like scarlet fever and typhoid and all that. So, you know, medical research is really important, and our hospital has some of the best researchers in the country.
And it's always breaking new ground and finding new cures and way forwards, and even things like cancer research and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not like you go into a research project either to just find a new cure. There's so many tiny elements of every single disease that they work on. Like, for example, with motor neurone disease, they're trying to determine the different markers of the disease so they can understand how it develops. And then once they understand how it develops in different people, how do you then provide the right treatment to give them back quality of life? So,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very time-consuming and costly.
And of course, as you said, that time is what they need to be able to undertake that research.
And that's right, and that's why they do need funding support so that they can focus on what they need to do, which is the research, rather than having to scramble and try and find every dollar and, you know, to make it happen.
Well, part of the funding and fundraising you do involves this gentleman sitting next to you.
Yes.
Hello, Ben, a well-known face to people. But what got you involved with this foundation?
I love to give.
Yeah.
No, look, when...
I knew that already, don't worry.
Saint.
I'm the face of the organisation, Damien. Look, when you go on a reality television program and you leave that, you can then spend the rest of your life encouraging kids to drink coconut water and whiten their teeth or buy vodka products that are infused with fruit juices, you know?
Yes.
And I've done a bit of that. It paid. But, and I mean this sincerely, I think if you're going to work all of your life, if you can't do that and do some good with it, then I kind of don't see what the point is. The little megaphone that reality TV has afforded me, I just think if you can't kind of take that forward and make a difference within the community, then I kind of think you've wasted it. So I kind of wanted to give back.
And by having you at these fundraising events, people are still wanting to get the inevitable selfie with you and things like that, that I guess encourages people to open that checkbook a little bit wider.
Do you think
I mean, there is
I don't
absolute...
underestimate your star power, don't you worry, Ben.
There is... look, I mean, it kind of got a little bit annoying. Not really, but, you know, we did a 25-kilometre walk together on Saturday to raise money for cancer research at the hospital. And walking and having to stop for selfies, not that much fun.
No.
But, but in saying that, though, it's great. It's a great way. I mean, since Ben's come on board, we've got to sort of talk more to a lot of the patients in the hospital because they are drawn to him.
Yes, yeah. And that's important to be able to give them that person that they can talk to and feel as though they can divulge things too.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I am approachable, and it's been a real bane of my existence, but I do enjoy meeting people. I enjoy communicating and hearing their stories. I mean, working in charity now, I mean, is something that I've always been interested in. It isn't something that I sort of thought, oh, that might be a good fit. It might be a good look. When I was at high school, I wanted to be anything from a youth worker to a counsellor to a psychiatric nurse to a social worker, all of these different things. So for me, I feel like maybe the experience that I had has brought me really to what suits me best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see that because, I mean, the passionate way that he talks about what he does as well really, you know, gives you that insight to that you found your niche with this.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't the hospital just such a part of our social fabric and landscape of Brisbane? I mean, I sort of feel like I've gone past the hospital kind of every day of my life, and you know, and I did lose my father there to cancer, you know, over 10 years ago now, and I've visited relatives there. I feel like it's always been a part of my...
I was born there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother was born there.
Well, of course, you do have the Mother's Wall as well, which is another key feature of the hospital.
Yeah, we call it our Royal Mums.
Yep.
And yeah, we started an honour wall in line with the 70th anniversary of the Women's Hospital. So I guess most people in Brisbane have heard of the Royal Women's Hospital and the Royal Brisbane Hospital. They actually merged in 2003.
Right.
The Women's Hospital, though, originally opened in 1938. So to commemorate its 70th anniversary back in 2008, we launched the Royal Mums Honour Wall. And essentially it's for any women that have had a baby at the hospital, and it's honouring the mother, not the children, but we put the years that they gave birth up on the honour wall.
Great.
And at last count, we're up to 31,400 mums that are listed on that honour wall, but we know that there's hundreds of thousands of others out there, because there would have been 600,000 babies born at that hospital since it opened. So
And if they're watching now, Karen.
You're making me feel tired already. Look, thank you so much for both of you coming in today to talk to us about it. It's wonderful work you do, and we look forward to supporting more work from the foundation as well.
thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you. And if you'd like to help the foundation, you can go to any of their fundraising events, check their website for all of those lists, and each year the RBWH Foundation, and they will certainly give you the idea of what you can do to raise some funds. Up next on the program, Hinksy is on the search for some die-hard samurai fans. And welcome back to Connected. Well, I don't know if you remember back to the 60s, but Samurai was a Japanese TV program and it was the first one ever screened in Australia. Now, it was an overnight success when it premiered back in 1964, becoming a cult favourite, sporting merchandise like everything from lunchbox to pencil cases, live stage shows and, of course, legions of memorabilia collectors. Well, we sent Hinksy out into suburbia to see if any of those fans still exist, or maybe even just a few eager ninjas at least.
Now, if you remember TV shows like Kung Fu and Monkey, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, well, there's one that precedes that. And inside this ordinary-looking house is a shrine to the original Japanese ninja TV show. Let's go and find out a bit more about this. Now, Greg Newman, you are like obsessed with this show called Samurai.
I am obsessed with the show Samurai, and it all began when I was a very young kid, and I've still got this memory. It was a Sunday night. It was shown in Melbourne, and my next door neighbour came in, and she was Scottish, and her son was my best friend, and I said to her, "Oh, Mrs. Tansey, what's Rod watching on television?" She said, "Oh, he's watching that new Japanese show, the Samurai." Switched it on, only caught the last 10 minutes, and I was just entranced. I thought, this is great. Ninjas, we'd never heard of ninjas and samurais and swords, and the evil guys look so cool. And so that was my first taste of the Samurai.
Because this was the predecessor to what we look at, like Kung Fu and Monkey and even Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it was. It was the first time, and you've got to put it into that context. We had never heard of ninjas, we'd never heard of samurais or anything like that. So this was the first time we were exposed to something sort of brand new. This was often set in forests. You had guys up in trees, and of course they're jumping backwards onto roofs, which we thought they could do.
Yeah, how did they do that?
Yeah, and we tried to do that ourselves.
Okay, now I do want to ask that. So how many broken bones did you get trying to be Shintaro?
No, I did have a ninja club in Melbourne, and part of the requirement was to jump off the garage roof. So you had to jump off the garage roof a couple of times. And also when you made your star knives, which we used to do out of the jam tins, you'd go around and we'd make them. They were dangerous things, and you had to throw about 3 or 4 into the grass, and if you did that, then you officially joined the ninja club.
And you never copped any injuries?
No injuries.
Let's run through some of the stuff, because you're a bit of a collector when it comes to all stuff to do with Shintaro and the Samurai.
I am. And look, we've got some memorabilia here, but one of the things I got as a kid, which was fantastic, was the samurai costume. You could buy some ninja costumes, which were very cheaply made, but the samurai costumes were pretty cool. Now, my mate Gary Renshaw, who's met the actor who starred in The Samurai, found some of these. Gary, come and
look at this. Now, can we do an interview with this guy?
Yeah, sure.
He's a bit flat. This is Shintaro.
That's Shintaro, and this is how it was sold in the store. It was suspended like that, and there's a plastic applique of Shintaro.
So you got costumes. Now, did you know there's some of those little flying stars that you were saying you had? Yeah. Have you still got any of them?
No. We made those out of jam tins. Well, Gary does. No, Gary's got a few authentic star knives.
Wow.
And each of them has a different...
I wonder how this would go on the front of the camera. The cameraman just crapped his pants.
This Shintaro gave me, I had dinner with Shintaro in Tokyo.
And you scalped him. You actually went and scalped him with one of those knives and kept his head.
Proud possessor of Shintaro's hair. That's the
so now there's this bald Japanese guy walking around going, I used to have hair like that. I wonder how many wigs that they had. This is the only one.
This is the one, yeah.
And so how did you con him into actually letting you have his hair?
By arriving there and saying, Shintaro, I'm glad I met you.
Now that's pretty impressive to have the actual person from the show presenting you with that. That's pretty amazing.
Shintaro himself, and there is a documentary coming on somewhere where Shintaro himself points to a photo and says, I gave my wig to that man, and I'm glad I did because he calls it a treasure. And Shintaro himself actually says, he's the one with my wig.
Have you ever tried to put it on?
No. It's never been off that stand. The only person who's ever worn that is Shintaro.
See, I would have been able to help myself. I would have been like, no one's around. Just trying the hair.
But I've got a sword to cut the hand off.
This is actually worth quite a lot of money, what you've got
It
here.
would be. I have seen on eBay the Samurai card series selling for, well, $400 or $500 if you've got the complete series. So these were the bubblegum cards that came out through Scanlon's.
I'm impressed you've still got teeth after eating all this chewing gum.
Yeah, well, the bubblegum was pretty ordinary. You got 4 cards, 2 sticks of bubblegum. So I'll keep those, but if anyone wants to buy them off me for $500, they're yours.
This is Connected, not buy and sell. So did you often, try and be ninjas yourselves?
Oh, yeah.
You talked about your ninja club.
That's right. We had those as kids. Yeah, that was really.
I mean, like in the last few weeks.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, Hinksy, because today, the day that we're doing this interview, tonight on Japanese television, there's a program called Rediscover Japan. Now, they heard about all of us samurai fans, and there's more than me and Gary, by the way. Yeah. We had a 50th anniversary get-together. This was last year. We had people from Perth and Canberra, Sydney, Queensland, of course, gathered here, and somehow they got wind of all of this Japanese TV show, and they thought, we'll come out and interview you.
Well, it goes to show that if you're a fan of Shintaro and also the samurai, you need to know Gary, you need to know Greg, and if you see 2 guys running around Brisbane City as ninjas, I think we know who it's going to be.
I can't really see that happening, but anyway, we've just recently had running around Brisbane, of course, one Hemsworth brother performing in Thor, which is something completely and utterly different. But I don't know about the 60s TV, but I would imagine that my favourite would have been Monkey, if you're talking about Japanese-style TV, or perhaps the Australian TV show Skippy. Nearly devastated when I heard that the Ranger station was about to be demolished. I'll get over that with some music now here on Connected with our very special friend who has been on our previous shows and has always entertained us. Would you please put your hands together and welcome the wonderful Rachel Mack.
I'll give you more for your money. I'll give you more for your money. Just wait. Give you
incredible Rachel Mack. Well, that just about wraps up this edition of Connected. Make sure you check out our latest guest info and special online segments on our website, connectedtv.com, and interact with the show on our Facebook page. Till next time, stay connected and bye for now.